Cannons armed. Reporting.
Roger that.
These vagrants stand in our way. Eliminate them to prepare for our land invasion.
Awaiting orders.
Welcome back everyone to Empire at War, the Imperial campaign. Today we are over Iridio.
Let's move out.
And we are continuing on with the Geonosian section of this campaign. We unfortunately encountered an Imperial fleet while trying to traverse the galactic trade routes, and so what we are doing now is, well, we're pushing through the rebel defenses over Iridio.
Closing on target. Full speed.
We have,
Initiating attack.
I believe, currently in this fleet, we've got, as you can see, 5 Tarkin patrol cruisers and 3 acclimators. The Tarkin patrol cruisers are obviously there to provide defense against the enemy's fighter squadrons. The acclimators will be using to knock through the rebel space station and their starships. I believe within the fleets, yeah, there we go. In the reinforcements, we've got another 7 acclimators and another 4 Tarkin patrol cruisers. You will see, as you can see, so you will see that that I'm trying to shift how I kind of play with the Empire from the way that I played with the Rebel Alliance. You know, just because the idea behind the Empire is, well, we've got more resources, we'll spend more resources building more ships. There's no real need to protect any of our starships massively. It would be nice if we could protect them and save them, but it doesn't always happen. This is going to be particularly true with ship classes like the acclimators, simply because they're actually quite good at taking out the stronghold, the hard points on a space station, especially once you do things like wear down the shields and, you know, expose a lot of, not expose, but leave it vulnerable to turbolaser fire.
Choose your reinforcements.
As you can see, I am just letting it happen. Starships are kind of just falling apart a little bit. I do occasionally group the TIE bombers and the TIE fighters together. I don't think I do it at this stage of the battle, but I do it occasionally to just ensure a kind of protection against the station's defences, but also any fighters that might try to engage the bombers on their way to the station. Just because the bombers are quite good at destroying things like a station or capital ships, so it's not useful to have them blown out of the sky almost immediately. As you can see, we've lost, I think, all but 2 of our Tarkin patrol cruisers. No, I think we lost all of the Tarkin patrol cruisers except for the one we just brought in, and we've lost, I think, at least 1 or 2 of the acclimators. Just trying to, you know, take out the station. Yeah.
Reporting.
The Rebel Alliance does...
Fallout. Attack! Cruiser here.
I think, kind of with the technological level that we're at the moment, the acclimators they're well suited for what they do, but unfortunately things like the Carillion blockade runners can really, they're quite good at stripping past the Tarkin patrol cruisers and the acclimators, so it would definitely be a good idea at some point for us to start producing more powerful starships. So we'll need to look at trying to unlock that, or see if it will unlock it for us. I am doing something a little bit new with this. May not have noticed, but the commentary is definitely more well, saying cohesive wouldn't be doing any justice to it. But I'm not so distracted by what's going on in game, because what I've done is I've gone and I have recorded the gameplay first, and I am now recording the voiceover. As you can see, the enemy is kind of just about to collapse. We're just mopping up the remains of their fleet,
over there. Navigating.
Which happens to be 3 transports. I believe, aside from the vast majority of X-Wings and Z-95s, the enemy also had a large number of ground troops in orbit around Iridio.
Confirmed.
Obviously, we have just smashed through those as well. But yes, back to the point that I was making before. Well, the thing that I was trying to say before. I'm doing this now because, well, not doing it now. I'm trying this now. I think, yeah, no. I'm trying this out now because I'd like to kind of see how it goes, how it ends up.
We are victorious.
As you can see, we just won that battle, and we are now diverting land troops, ground troops, to the fleet. We're moving them straight to Geonosis.
As the Emperor reporting.
Tactical battle.
Signal the fleet to move toward... What's this? Prepare to engage. It appears the Geonosians have allied themselves with the rebellion. Send for reinforcements. This treachery needs to be dealt with immediately.
The rebels are retreating to their base. Do not allow them to escape. Destroy the rebel starbase and push the traitors from the sector.
Targeting. We'll be there soon.
Right, so it's
Moving to that area.
I'm trying this out just because I thought maybe it'd be nice to do something a little different, and it might make the commentary for some of the games like Battlegrounds, Empire at War, and Company of Heroes, so the ones that come out on Fridays, it may help with the commentary for those games. What I think it might be a good idea. I don't know. I'll have to do it a couple of times to just kind of see how it goes. But if you like this and you'd like to see more of this done, then definitely comment down below. That would help me kind of gauge how everyone's feeling about the idea. At the moment, we are now over Geonosis and have discovered that the Geonosians have allied themselves with the Rebel Alliance. a surprise there. The Empire, you know, we were kind of
Ready, sir.
abusing them for their
We're in position.
resources and workforce. Then the construction of several projects. And we've been instructed by Lord Vader himself to continue pushing forward
Fall out.
Lander reporting.
and to ensure the destruction of the Rebel Alliance's fleet over this world.
Tarkin cruiser reporting.
It's going to be very much the same as usual. We're not going to be doing anything too fancy. We're just going to send the acclimators, you know, we're just sending the acclimators forward, and they're going to strip the shield
Bomber standing by.
from
Awaiting orders.
the station, and then we'll destroy, you know, we'll strip the rest of the hard points off. You may have noticed that I did just group the TIE fighters and the TIE bombers together and sent them to attack the shield generator on the station. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's, I think, something that I started doing kind of while I was playing Empire at War on my own. When I, you know, like what I'd do is I'd first deploy, I'd get into a space battle, I'd deploy as much of my fleet as I could, and I'll let the garrisoned units come out of the starships that I've deployed, and I'd send them all forward first. And their job was to find the enemy, figure out their numbers. Because I don't actually produce pro-droids often. I kind of find it more fun to just jump in cold feet first. You know, get it over and done with kind of thing. I believe we lost either one or both of our Tarkin patrol. No, we've still got both of them. We lost our... It must have been an acclimator we lost then, because I just pulled a new one in. The station is without its shields, and now it's lost its hangar, and so we're focusing down on the weapons hard points that are on the side of the station facing our fleet, so that we can then start stripping down the rest of the station. This is... it's not something that takes too long. It would definitely be quicker if we had some kind of... I want to say artillery starships. I'm thinking something like the Rebels broadside cruiser. I think it was their broadside cruiser. It must have been. Which I used quite regularly once I had unlocked it in the last series where we played through the Rebel Alliance's campaign. Mostly because it's actually really effective. And, you know, like, why wouldn't you use it? You can spot targets from a distance and then just drop a whole bunch of torpedoes up.
The space above Geonosis is clear. We are beginning our ground assault.
Excellent. Be sure to inflict plenty of damage on the locals to send a clear message. The slightest whiff of rebellion will not be tolerated.
We risk diminishing our labor force with this action.
Nonsense. The survivors will work twice as hard.
And now we are invading Geonosis's... Geonosis's... Wow, that's a lot of... We are now invading Geonosis
This planet
itself.
is at risk of falling into the hands of the rebels. Mount a defense that will send them crawling back into their holes.
Yes.
Choose your
A
reinforcements.
defense.
I'm en
No,
route.
it's not a defense.
Setting course.
We are invading.
Right away.
On my way.
And as invaders, we need to deploy as much of our ground force as possible, which is what I'm doing here. I'm using Vader to destroy the first of the Genosian hives. structures.
Target acquired.
Spires. We'll call them
Enemy
spires.
sighted.
Whenever I do deploy heroes like Vader, I tend to use them as like the frontline
Let's go.
assault troops, kind of like shock troops, I suppose. The
Alert all command.
idea being that, you know, they're heroes. If they die, they'll come back and, you know, like after a cooldown period. But also, they're really hard to kill. You know, like Vader, he doesn't just take damage and roll over and die. He like
Mauler ready.
Like you'll notice he'll
Roll out.
On my way.
quite often
Turret constructing.
He lies with
be the cause of like large swaths of destruction.
I have you now.
As you can see, we're moving
Enemy spotted.
ATSTs and Time Wars forward,
Deploying.
and I think this is like another great thing about the Empire is that all of their ground
There they are.
vehicles, or a lot of their ground vehicles,
Ready.
can squash troops. Like the ATSTs and the Time Wars, like the Time Wars, just drive right through. The ATSTs will happily walk over infantry units. Oh,
Unit destroyed.
kicking my drink bottle around, that's not
Unit
great.
destroyed. Bombing run available.
But yeah,
Unit destroyed.
as you saw, I just used Darth Vader to wipe out a chunk of Geonosian
Attack.
natives, because nobody likes them.
Unit destroyed.
And I just used the ATSTs to walk over a whole bunch of walk over the fleet troopers that were causing problems.
Unit destroyed.
And there I used the Time Warner to run over some of the troops. Was a little bit delayed, but
Ready to go.
that's alright. Gonna let them have it. I have unfortunately just sacrificed the first wave of our
Choose your
troops.
reinforcements.
Inputting coordinates.
but we have plenty of reinforcements, so
Turret
it's not like
constructed.
it's an issue.
Acknowledged. I'm on route. Order
If it is an issue, I'd be worried.
Now you will meet your end. Prepare to meet your destiny.
Construction
Now,
complete.
because we have the acclimators in orbit,
Make ready.
we also have access to a
Awaiting
bombing
order.
run, which will,
Choose your reinforcements.
which I will use when available. Kind of,
Unit capacity.
I think I use it twice in this battle, and I use it.
Order acknowledged.
I
We'll back you up.
usually use
Awaiting
the
orders.
bombing
Unit
strike
destroyed.
to clear out either large groups of troops who
Unit
have
destroyed.
dug in, or defenses that will
Construction
otherwise
complete.
overwhelm.
Bombers at the ready.
Like here, defenses that may overwhelm anything that I try to throw at them,
Commence attack run.
and as a result, we
We're on enemies in range.
have annihilated anti-vehicle and anti-infantry turret that they had sitting there.
All too easy. Yes.
Now it's just a simple
They will
matter
join us or
of mopping
die.
them up. And we're almost
Alert
there,
all
actually.
command.
Always ready, sir.
Let's move out.
Whoa,
Yes, sir.
Men, prepare for
I've been
fire.
talking almost non-stop
Roger
for
that.
20 minutes. That's that's a
Initiate
feat.
Sweep. Affirmative.
These walkers, they're also
Inputting
gonna get
coordinates.
just thrown away. Unfortunately.
Unit destroyed.
Yeah, look at
Keep
that.
going. Open fire.
Boom, 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 boom.
This way.
Unit destroyed.
Yeah, they just got annihilated.
Disturbing.
Unit destroyed.
Reporting in.
What is it?
Oh, that happens.
Unit destroyed. Roger.
Move out.
We'll cover you. Turret constructed.
And we now have our own defenses
Reporting
there.
in.
As you can see, Time
All right,
Wars
men. Load your weapons.
quite happy to
Spreading out.
run over the opponent.
Roger that. Attack that target.
And we are now moving the walkers in place, into position to start taking
Choose your
out
reinforcements.
the enemy's base structures up there.
Construction
I believe there is a officers academy and
Roger that. Move out.
a troop center, infantry
Awaiting
barracks,
orders.
something.
Copy.
I can't remember the name of it now.
In attack position.
Form up. Moving to
Attacking
secondary
target.
position.
Over there.
Walk over there.
Fire at will.
Form up.
I copy.
Attack.
Reporting.
And we're gonna use the self-destruct on the Time Mauler.
Receive orders.
No, so I lied. I think I use it as a total of 3 times throughout the battle.
Destroyed.
Yes, Commander.
And I used
Setting course.
it to take out the structure that was on that hill.
Unit destroyed.
Open fire. Attack that target.
We've secured an abandoned mining facility.
There we go. Slowly clearing out the rest of them.
I copy.
Your destiny lies with me.
And we're going to use Vader to just kind of clear out the rest of those
Ready
structures.
for your orders, sir.
I probably could have used like a sensor node or something on top of that hill to kind of spot the remaining targets. Well, maybe not all of them, but I could have definitely used it to spot some of them. However, I didn't. That's a failing on my part, but when I say it's a failing, that's not really a failing per se. Just a slight oversight, I guess. That definitely would have helped with taking care of the anti-vehicle turret that's up in that corner.
As the Emperor
But we are
wills.
using we are going to use Vader, mostly because he's pretty tanky. Yeah, look at that.
All too easy.
And Vader also reflects blaster fire that comes at him,
Planet.
which is always interesting.
Battalion standing by.
When he's crushing a building,
Right
it
away.
can't do anything. Which means that it's
Ready.
really good to
Moving
use
out.
Vader to kind of push through. I want to say push through lines of
All out
defense
troops.
where it's kind of like a
Let's
single
move out.
turret or something or other.
Keep going.
Unit
This
destroyed.
Attacking target.
Unit destroyed.
Over there.
Comlink and
Yeah,
roll out.
there you go. Third time
Deploying.
to knock out
Command
the
fire at will.
what is it? Barracks. Barracks, that's what it was called. And we've got a communications tower which will
You may dispense with the pleasantries.
Turret
take out as
constructing.
well.
Yes.
And again, we're going to use Vader to take out the
Time
other
order.
structure.
Copy.
And look at that.
Order acknowledged.
Ready.
Construction complete.
Almost completely annihilated them all.
What now?
Activating.
And
Yes, Commander. Right away.
with the destruction of those
Moving to that area,
few
sir.
structures, with the destruction of those few,
Coordinates.
I am finished with your task, so now I must continue my search for the elusive traitor.
There is very little this informant could do to lessen the might of the Empire. The subjugation of the Geonosians will surely send a clear message to all those who would consider opposing us. The rebellion won't be so bold again.
The rebels' strength will continue to grow as long as they continue to acquire allies. To that end, the potential firepower of the Mon Calamari fleet far exceeds that of the rebels, and it would be a detriment if they join forces. We must ensure this does not occur.